though. Okay. Let's turn these little lights on behind me for something, a little something extra. Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna be honest, I'm still very much asleep right now. Very much. And it is so cold in the beauty room. And I sat here for like, 25 minutes before going live just to like see if the lights and my little heater at my feet would warm it up, but it's still so cold. But I have so much to do today. We just got to go ahead and get started. So we're gonna do a little get ready with me. We're gonna chit chat. We're gonna do all of those things. I need my moisturizer. This is the Drunk Elephant Polypeptide. So yesterday was a good day. We did our stuff at the church that I talked about, and then we went to my grandmommy's, and JP did some things that she needed done at her house. And there's some electrical issues. She had an electrician come out and put new wiring on the outside of her house, and then had somebody else come and replace her outside light a few months later, and they messed it up bad. So it took John like 3 hours to figure out what this person had done, because the second person that she had do it wasn't an electrician or anything. It's just her like neighbor. He lives alone, and he would literally do anything for my grandmommy, but he has like no electrical training. He has like none of it. So he thought he got it fixed, but we got a bit more, get probably 10 minutes away, and I had left my phone in the car because we went to eat afterwards to get something to eat, and I'd left my phone in the car. I come out to the car, I have missed calls from my mom, have missed calls from my grandmommy, and apparently her overhead light in her kitchen wasn't working. That same outlet that runs from the outside inside is now not working. So we have to go over there today. I have to go to my mom's today. Just so much stuff to do again today. And I'm so tired. Oh, so tired. I'm just giving that moisturizer a second just to kind of just sit for a moment. I did shave my face last night. During my skincare routine. As you can see, it nicked my fucking nose. Hello. But it's whatever. Honestly, don't give a shit. Alright, I'm going to go in with the Refi Primer. That's what I get for doing all of that after like a long ass day. The last thing I should have been doing was shaving my face, but I just felt like it needed to be done, so I did it. I also have a spray tan later This is the Nimya Where It All Starts cream. So when we get back, I'll wash my face and take my shower and stuff. So excited. There's nothing better than a spray tan. I love this primer. For those of y'all who don't know, Nimya is Nikki Tutorial's brand, for anyone who doesn't know. And her brand is absolutely fantastic. If you've not tried it, you need to. Hi, Helena. Anyways, so I ran a poll on Snapchat and asked the topics that you guys want to talk about. Of course, you know we're going to get off topic and we're going to talk about other shit. That's what we do. But you all really wanted my opinion on this Floribama Shores TikTok drama. And for those of you guys who are like, who is that? Trust me, I was the same up until a couple of weeks ago when all of their drama started to like flood my TikTok, and there's so many people that technically are included, but the main focus is on, you've got two couples, Kristen and Jacob, Whitney and Tyler. Tyler Herring apparently was on some type of reality show. However, I don't know when he was on that reality show, and he just turned 21. But it seems like he was on that reality show like a few years ago. I don't know. Anyway. Then there are outskirt people. So you have people who are kind of involved or are involved, but not necessarily in a couple. Or if they are, I just didn't care enough to figure out who their couple is, like who their other significant other is. You have Tate Sweat, I don't know, Tate Sweat, I think is his name. And you have Lindy Hall. Tate used to date Whitney. Okay, let's not start mingling it too much yet, because I should have a marker board for this, because it all just intertwines. Then you have Kirsten, and I'm not sure of her fiance's name. Could quite literally not tell you if a bang bang was held up. Like, to save my life, I couldn't tell you what his name is. Then you have Soph, or Sophie. Again, literally could not tell you. Jesus Christ is God. Yes, amen to that. Could not tell you. Anyways, there's all of these young kids involved, and the thing is they've all made a shitload of money way too young. Like, it's just so crystal clear. Most of them, by the way, made their money off of OnlyFans. A lot of them, I'm going in with the Anastasia dip brow, by the way. I mean, we're talking about, the oldest one is 25, I believe, and that's Whitney. I do believe Whitney is the oldest out of the group. And you can just tell these kids made money way too quick. But I'm going to give my opinion really quick, because I don't think many people on YouTube are going to know who the hell I'm talking about. So I don't want to spend very much time on this. I think I should have ran a poll here, but I digress. My opinion is this. The reason why Kristen and Whitney are not friends anymore, I don't think that they're necessarily not friends. I do think that it's more of a he said, she said thing, and they are the same type of personality. They both like the drama. But I will say, in regards, because I know what people who follow me on Snapchat who voted in this poll and who also follow me here. What you all want me to comment on is the Kristen and Jacob podcast, which I know it's now come out that that was filmed in December, but that was hard for me to watch. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I watched it for you all. I watched most of the clips that you guys are talking about, and it was really uncomfortable for me. You have this girl, anytime this man opens his mouth, she's like, nobody wants to hear from you. Quite literally, nobody wants to hear your opinion. Can you shut up? Like, go, if you haven't seen it, go watch the clips on TikTok. You can just search Kristen and Jacob's podcast. It's Kristen with a C, by the way. And prepare to cringe. And you guys know how I am. I cannot stand cringy shit like that. So the thought of me watching the entirety of that podcast gives me chills in a bad way. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Cannot imagine it. Justin Baldoni's voice note to Blake Lively about did me in with his heavy breathing, and that was a super uncomfortable voice. Like, this podcast is worse. Like, it's really bad. And you have to remember that at the time that this was recorded, these are like newly engaged people. Like, they've only been engaged for a couple of months when it's been being recorded. It just come out, but this was recorded in December, so it's just like, ew. I don't know. I would never speak to my significant other that way. So I guess that's what bothers me a lot, and like what makes me cringe the most is it's just like not a way that I would ever speak to my significant other. And you know, he does make one comment where he says, you can't just keep talking and talking and talking. Well, that is quite literally what a podcast is to like talk. But from what I understand, this is more of like a vlog style podcast. Which is great. I just think that if you're going to do a vlog style, only put it on Patreon and behind that paywall, because if you put it on like Spotify and all these other places, it's not going to make any sense. That's the only thing that bothers me with vlog style podcasts. If you do that, you know, only put it on YouTube or only put it on, you know, Patreon where someone can actually watch it. Because I could imagine listening to a vlog would be a bit odd. I don't know. I've never listened to a vlog style podcast without like watching it on something. So I don't know. Anyways, that's my thoughts. I think they all are young and they all really need to grow up. I know Kristen likes to behave like she's, you know, 35 and she's been through everything and she knows all because she's a mom now. And as I do know, becoming a mother does age you and matures you a lot. There are still things that, you know, she's not experienced yet, and that just comes with time and age. I don't know. It's just, it's bizarre. And the fact that, you know, they're still like going back and forth with each other, her and Whitney, is very like strange and bizarre because they're obviously not friends. So it's just weird that they still like go back and forth with each other online and like, I don't know. But yeah, my opinion is that I think everyone involved just needs to mature, and again, that will come with time. And yeah, so brows are done. This over here, well, they've been filled in. They have not been shaped or styled yet. So those of you who know, you know, it takes me a moment for my brows to get done. Also, speaking of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, going in with the CoverGirl concealer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say now that I have not updated myself on this situation in the past few days. So if there's anything that I say and there is an update that you know of or things that have changed, feel free to let me know in the comments and be like, Morgan, no, it's come out that this is the situation. Please do so, because again, I have not updated myself on this in the past few days. So correct me if I'm wrong. This is my current opinion with what all I know so far, which up to my date, I know of the voice note. I know of allegedly Taylor Swift stepping back or taking steps back. And obviously I know of the lawsuit. I know that the original lawsuit was against the New York Times with Blake Lively. Then she came forward with a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. And now, no, Justin Baldoni went and done a lawsuit against the New York Times. That's right. And let's start there, because in my opinion, again, everything that I'm about to say is very public knowledge, number one. Number two, it is my opinion. It is all alleged because, again, we don't know. These aren't facts, but this is just the information that we actually have been told, we'll say. Starting with that, I am on Justin's side of things, because I do not feel like they should have released that article at all. That's first. Because it's now known that they didn't have all the information. They went off of Blake's word, which, here's the other thing. A lot of people on the internet are saying, oh, well, you know, of course they took Blake's side or went with what Blake said because she's a huge famous person. Like, she is a huge person in the entertainment. Thank you, Tito. I hope I said your name right. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I don't know, guys, because have you all seen these interviews, clips of her? I am so sorry, but that one where, because if you don't know, the thing that intertwines Justin and Blake is the movie It Ends With Us. Justin went to the author of that book and got permission to write this movie, to do this movie. And this man wrote out the director, like, he wrote it out, and he went to Blake to be, from what I've heard, is they requested for Blake to try out for the part. I don't know if that is true, because I couldn't find a direct quote of Justin Baldoni stating this. So I don't know if that's an actual fact. I'm looking at my notes here on my MacBook. Yeah, I don't think there's a direct quote of that. So I don't know if she actually tried out for it and got the part, but you have to think about this. In order for Blake to accept a movie, you're talking about a mega movie star, they're going to have to pay her a lot of money. So people are saying, well, why didn't he, you know, well, let me not jump the gun. So in this interview, the interviewer asked, if you've not read the book or watched the movie, the main consensus, the main topic is, no, I am not single. The main topic is domestic violence and getting out of a domestic violence situation. And the interviewer asked, you know, if a young girl or someone comes up to you and asks, you know, your thoughts on domestic violence and you know, what could you say that might help that person? And she's like, oh, you want me to like give them my address, my social security number, my phone number? And like laughs, and it's the most uncomfortable, awkward next couple of minutes, because I don't think the interviewer quite knew where to go from there. And super sweet interviewer, by the way. She did a really great job of kind of navigating and like bringing it back home, but super rude. There's so many clips of her just being absolutely rude to people, and kind of trying to take the interview over and like manhandle it. It was just, ugh, I don't know. But I'm going to put some MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly just on my lid, just to get a little bit more tackiness. But I will say this, after that voice note, I am kind of, this is my opinion, okay? I think, in my personal opinion, that Blake and Justin had some type of romantic affair or romantic situation together, just based off of that voice note and what happened after the strike. So a lot of people don't know why they had stopped filming from, I believe it was June until the end of June until like the beginning of October, November type area. There was a strike. So no one could film during that time. That's why a lot of movies have been pushed back. A lot of the big TV shows, like a lot of Netflix shows like Bridgerton, a bunch of shows have been pushed back. Like their new release dates haven't even been announced yet. It just says, like for Bridgerton, for example, it now says 2026. When it did say October 2025, it now says 2026. So there's not even like an actual month in mind of when Bridgerton season 4 is going to come out. That strike pushed a lot of things back, but there's nothing you can do. So when that strike happens, Blake flies back home. Also, her husband Ryan was also filming a movie, and he comes back home. And I think that something was found out when that happened, because after that is when the text requesting, this is the Jacqueline Volume 2 palette, by the way, that I'm going to use. That's when the text from Blake is sent to Justin with these 16 points of demands, her list of demands. One of which being that she wants the director's cut. So the pre-edited version of the movie, she wants it. And keep in mind, all of these demands are demands that she is requesting in order to even come back and finish filming the movie. And you also have to remember, this isn't like a huge production company that did this movie. So they're thinking, okay, if we lose her, we have A, lost out on millions of dollars, and B, we're going to lose out on even more, because we're going to have to find someone else, and we're going to have to refilm everything that we've already filmed. So I get where Justin was coming from, of just like, give her the demands, just answer the demands. A lot of people are like, why would he ever even consider those demands? Because a lot of them were truly like crazy. Like, my husband is able to come on set and he can make any changes. And then, you know, Justin kind of reaches out to Blake to kind of like get like an explanation, like what the hell is all this shit about? And that's where that voice note comes in, because Blake texts him and says, you know, I'm just, my friends, which she uses weird verbiage. She uses like dragons and all these weird ways, and people think she's talking about Ryan and Taylor Swift. But says the dragons. She also refers to herself as Khaleesi. Anyway. She says the dragons feel that I get taken advantage of. No one ever listens to my thoughts or my opinions and blah, 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 blah. And so that's when Justin sends her this very heavy on the mouth breathing voice note, which I watched Christina Randall's video on this, and I have to agree. It's cringy, but it's eye-opening, because it kind of gives you a glimpse into where the relationship left off in the eyes of Justin Baldoni. Because you have to remember, Blake is home right now with her husband Ryan, and you can now keep in mind, a lot of people are kind of thrown because Justin does mention his wife in that voice note. However, I don't think his wife was with him at the time. We actually don't have, I've looked, and I don't know for sure. This isn't for sure. This is literally a speculation. But I do believe that she was on a business trip when this voice, if it lines up with her Instagram and the time stamp of this is just something that I'm speculating. This is not a truth at all. We do not know this. But I do not believe she was home. And you do not hear her in the voice memo. Typically, like, you know, when a spouse includes you in a voice note, you might hear them like giggle or agree or something around them. You don't hear any. It's complete dead silence on his end. All you hear is him. And it's just kind of, in my opinion, it gives me the vibe that he has romantic feelings for her. He's like, thank you for being so vulnerable and trusting me with your story. And I feel like we have such great chemistry. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. In my opinion, and all of this, I feel that there was something romantical, possibly, allegedly, going on with Blake and Justin. And when the strike happened and they had to go home, you got to understand, there are all these texts. So I think Ryan found out, and he sat her down and said, listen, this is what's going to happen. There's also one portion in Justin's lawsuit against not only Blake Lively, but her husband Ryan and their like public agent. He says that he has never been spoken to the way I was spoke to by Ryan. I felt as little as I ever have. So I don't know what was said during that. I'm still trying to pull the entire lawsuit up, and it's been downloading since before I started this live. So I'm going to do like a full in-depth video on this, but I want to wait until we find out if they're going to even go to court. I don't think they're going to. I've told you guys this. I think they're going to settle out of court, and that's because just so much more keeps coming out and coming out and coming out. You now have Taylor Swift saying, like, I'm taking a step back, allegedly. I mean, this is getting big, you guys. This is, if this actually does go to court, this is going to be huge. And I think we're going to really, this is very much reminiscent of Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. And like I said, when that happened, it is going to say a lot on who is wanting cameras in the courtroom. You always will know the most and can truly see, not necessarily who is innocent, because there's going to be rights and wrongs on these civil lawsuits, you guys. It's not like one person is completely lying and one person is completely telling the truth. There's going to be little truths on both sides. So just remember that. A lot of people misconstrued that with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. They just said, oh, she is completely lying and everything that he's saying is completely the truth. There were little truths on both sides, but Amber Heard was majority a liar. And that is what you're going to get out of this suit as well. If it does go to court, one person is going to be majority, they have told big lies, and majority the other person has told big truths. So we'll see. But I honestly, I don't think that this is going to go to trial. It would really, really surprise me and shock me if this goes to trial. It just doesn't, it doesn't make sense for Blake or Ryan to take, to go and not try to settle out of court. However, I don't know, because again, Justin Baldoni would have to be in agreement to settle out of court. So, and it doesn't seem like that's going to be something that's going to happen at this point. I mean, the fact that the man could walk the carpet at his own movie premiere, but couldn't watch it inside with everybody else. No, 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 no. Him and his team of people watched it in the basement. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going to someone, an author of a book, and getting permission to film the movie version of this book? And you then get one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood to agree to be the leading lady. And fast forward to the movie premiere, she's now on the carpet answering all these questions. She's the one that's allowed in the actual theater to watch the premiere. Meanwhile, you and the people who held the camera and filmed it, the person who went action, all of those people, the person who actually wrote out the script, all of those people are in the fucking basement. You've got me fucked up. You have got me twisted and turned. There is no way in hell. Like, what in the shit? You have all these people. There are actually photos, you guys, of this, of all of him and his team just in the basement of this premiere theater, just, you know, watching the premiere of their movie. Like, you've got one of Justin, like what the fuck? I'll be damned. I'll be damned. There's no way, bitch, that you are going to tell me that I'm not going to go in and watch the premiere with everybody else. It's just nuts. It's wackadoodle time. Like, that's wackadoodle time. I just cannot with that shit. But then again, I guess that was in her list of demands, and those were agreed upon. It's just, I just feel so bad for this poor man. Like, I really do. It just, and it really doesn't look good on Blake's side, because this man is literally having to sit in the basement at the premiere of his movie. Like, why would that ever be the case? Again, she is claiming like sexual harassment and shit like that, so we don't know for sure. But in this moment of time, it's given Amber Heard to me. Like, it's given, like, anyway. Moving on from that, I want to add just a little bit of tackiness to my lid. I'm going to use the Paint Pot by MAC. Not necessarily cutting the lid, just adding a little bit of tackiness to it, just so the shimmer does pop. And I'm going to do that to both sides. I like taking a little bit of this before I add a shimmer, just because I feel like it just gives it a little bit extra tackiness, so it really holds and sticks. And let me see this palette, because I think this one has some really cool shimmers, and I haven't used this one a lot. This is the Juvia's Place, the Candy Shop palette. What was that just fell? My beauty blender, of course. Yeah, see, there's some really fun shimmers in here, but I don't know. I think we'll start with this one, And if we need to, I will add a little bit of, in this palette, this is also Nikki Tutorials brand Nimya. It's the palette. This shimmer up top here, Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials, it's gorge. I might add a little bit of her over top. We'll see. First, I need to get my beauty sponge. Oopsie. Out of the floor. Oh. Okay. All right. Also, I feel like I'm the last one. Hi, Jade. I feel like I'm the last to know that Gypsy Rose had her baby. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? And I feel like, because is she on social media anymore? I feel like she's not, right? Didn't she like delete all of her stuff? I feel like she's just like MIA, but I think I seen it. Yeah, it was on Snapchat, and it was on People Magazine Snapchat. And I'm like, okay, so you got rid of your social media, but you gave an interview to People Magazine? What are your all's opinions on that? What are your all's thoughts that she had a girl? What I'm curious. I mean, I'll give you guys my opinion on Gypsy Rose, but I have a feeling that a lot of people are not going to agree with me at all. Which is fine. That's what a conversation is about. Everyone is allowed their opinion. You know, as I always say, opinions are like the Botox hole. Everyone has one. Now, we have to remember that this girl was not only physically abused, she was also living with someone with Munchausen by proxy and was forced to sit in a wheelchair her whole life. Even though the girl could completely and totally walk, she was, and also, this is, you're also talking about her losing trust in the medical field at all. Like, she's probably going to have like ongoing trauma with medical personnel the rest of her life. You have to understand, yes, her mother says, oh, all these documents were lost, you know, in Hurricane Katrina, but there wasn't one doctor to like running their own tests to confirm. No, they're just literally taking out this girl's salvatory glands and voluntarily putting feeding tubes in her and giving her medication for epilepsy and all of this shit, and her teeth are falling out, and like nobody is running any new test or doing anything new. They're just going off of this mother's stuff. Also, the whole birth certificate thing, that is odd to me as well. Like, there's just so many people that failed this young girl, and you have to understand, when so many people fail you and no one advocates for you, so many people are like, well, why didn't you just stand up and scream in the middle of the mall? Okay, when you have been failed by quite literally anyone who could help you, like anyone who could have helped this girl, you have to think about all the people that were involved. You've got surgeons, you've got nurses, you've got doctors, you've got dentists, you've got all of these people. You have even child services came out there and left her with them. Like, you have to think, like, so many people let this girl down. So many people let her down. Of course, she's not going to do that. Of course she's not. She's going to think, oh, yeah, nobody is ever going to help me. I'm stuck here forever. And so she starts thinking of other ways that she can get out of there. And was her method the right choice? Absolutely fucking not. However, I do believe that when you, because you have to remember, she suffered a lot of mental abuse in this situation as well. You have to remember those things. And I think people just forget that. They just think, oh yeah, she committed a murder and she's out free, scot-free. Well, she's not out scot-free. She did serve a lot of years in prison. And I will say this as well. I think her relationship with men is so fucked up. Number one, you got to think about us, okay? Think about how we grew up. This girl was a complete adult, and her mother was telling her that she was like 16. We got to be 18 years old and go do what we wanted to do. We got to be 16 and go on dates and go to prom and do all these things. This girl did not get to do any of that. She never got to have her first little puppy love in high school and get her fucking heart torn apart and have to go through that like most of us did. And people are just forgetting this, and it's really frustrating to me. I'm like, guys, you have to understand. Yes, she might be 35 years old, 32 years old, whatever the case. But in experience years, like, come on, you guys. Like, this is her first time experiencing love, experiencing what it's like to be with the wrong person. And meanwhile, while she's experiencing most of these firsts, she's in prison. So it's not like she can like go on a date with this person. Her version of a date is at a visitation in a prison. Okay? So the fact that she married Ryan is not a shock to me at all. She had her first heartbreak with whatever the one that she's actually with and had a baby with, whatever his name. They were together before her and Ryan, and they broke up. That would be for us in comparison to our high school sweetheart, the first person to break your heart. However, she's in prison. Okay, let's compare prison to high school for in her case. When you have that first heartbreak, you are on the rebound. You want to find someone else. You want to, bitch and moan to your friends. We have sleepovers. We have girl time where we can like go out and shop and talk shit about the guy. Like, she didn't have any of this. She was in prison. So does it shock me that the next person that she meets and starts talking to via fan mail, which says a lot about Ryan, let's just start there, via fan mail, does it shock me that she married him? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. It does not surprise me in the slightest that she did. Second of all, people are saying, oh, well, she married him in prison. Okay, well, what about the fact that Ryan married her while she was in prison? Instead of being like, you know what? No, I would rather wait until you're out so you can actually have a wedding. You can wear a dress. You can have your dad walk you down the aisle. You can have all these experiences. But no, instead, let's just go ahead and get married in prison. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just know, like, my guy, John, he would never be, he knows how much I would want to like wear the dress and do all the things. It's just like, I don't know. And also Ryan creeps me out. I'm going to just say that too. Like there's something about him. You guys mark my words here. He creeps me the fuck out. I don't know. There's something about him. And you guys know how I am on my intuition. You guys have seen it before with many other things. And you guys disagreed with me, and then that person showed their colors, and you guys were like, oh my God, Morgan, you were totally right. And I was like, I know I was. I told you guys this motherfucker was a weirdo. And you guys didn't want to believe me. You guys wanted to stay in line with what everybody else thinks. I'm just saying. Remember what I say. I just think people need to give the girl a break. Do I think she should have went and had a baby? Fuck no. I think that she should have definitely waited and experienced a little bit more life before she had a baby. But what's done is done. There's no point in everybody going back and forth on whether or not she should have had a baby. But the fact of the matter is this girl went through a shitload of trauma. She was physically, mentally, emotionally abused. Her health care was completely taken out of her hands. She had absolutely no say-so in what she ate. She had no say-so on what surgery she had. Nothing. And she made a very fucked up decision with someone else, whether or not this other person has mental issues or not. Do I think that, what's his name, Goldie John, do I think that his sentence was fair? No, I don't. I don't think his sentence was fair, because I genuinely do believe that he does have some mental issues that he actually needs, like mental therapy, mental help. And I think that's a big problem. One of the big problems that's wrong with our justice system is, you know, these people who commit these crimes, a lot of them have extremely horrible mental health issues, and they're just thrown away in prison and forgotten about, instead of trying to help them at all mentally. And so I don't agree with that. I don't. But as far as Gypsy Rose, she served her time. She did. She was sentenced. She served that time. The girl basically was in prison her whole life. She literally said that she felt free when she went to prison, which is crazy. How many of you guys would say that? I would guarantee not many. Just saying. So I hope that everything goes well with her and her baby. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Gypsy Rose. Okay, moving on to foundation. I'm going in first with my Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I love this stuff. You guys know that. I just repurchased this one about 3 weeks ago, so this is a new one. I'm in the shade Buff, I believe, or Nude. Buff or Nude? I think it's actually Nude. But they now have numbers on the bottom, so it does say 6. So I don't know. We're gonna mix foundations per always. Next, this foundation I spoke about yesterday. You guys know I'm obsessed with this. This is so good. So good. Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. This is in the shade Camel. Now, moving on to the next topic. First, I'm going to go in with some Marc Jacobs Super Shot. This is in the shade Light 130. This is more of that peachy, very light shade that's going to even out my skin tone even more. With my rosacea, I have to mix several different shades to get everything to kind of equal out. So yesterday in my live, we spoke about Michaela Noguero, I think is how you pronounce her last name. The TikTok influencer who blew the fuck up. I think she originally blew up in 2020 in the COVID era. And the main reason that she blew up was, number one, her makeup, and number two, this Boston accent. And so we talked about her yesterday, and you guys commented and wanted more in depth of my actual thoughts on her. And I kind of shared that yesterday if you watched the entire live. But for those of you guys who don't want to go back and watch the entire live, I'll kind of touch base on it. I do not like her. I don't. I think that she's just super duper, how do I put this? She's a liar. She literally is a liar. She never keeps it a buck with her audience. I'm so sorry for anyone that this might hurt your feelings. Her wedding was, in my personal opinion, 100% a sponsorship. You have Elf X Michaela all over the fucking place. Then you literally have her do an ad for a mascara. And you can quite literally see a wispy, an Ardell wispy, after her second coat of mascara. And the thing of it is that she never comes out and publicly says anything. She never takes accountability. She ghosts her audience. She literally ghosts them, goes completely silent, and doesn't respond to anyone. Now, as far as like the Ozempic thing, that's another thing people were saying on Snapchat yesterday. Well, why didn't you talk about her being on Ozempic? I don't feel like that's any of my fucking business. Like, that's something that, when it comes to someone's weight, I just feel like that's just a really foul thing to talk about, because if she chose, her and her doctor had a discussion and they chose that Ozempic was the best way for her, great. It wasn't for me. It made me feel like a dog and sick. But it might not be that way for her, and that might be what helps her. She has said that she is not on Ozempic. But guys, that's none of our business. I don't, if someone is on it and chooses to say no, that's their business. It doesn't surprise me. Would it surprise me if she is on it and she has said no this whole entire time? No, because guys, let's look at her past here. Like, come on. She lies a lot, and about shit that really does not matter. However, this is my take on Mascaragate. I think that it was L'Oreal and Michaela and her team. I think that was all planned for uproar, to get people talking about it, to get people pissed off is the best way to get publicity. And as they say, all publicity is good publicity, and that's literally the way these people think. I think it was meant to piss us off, because how many people bought that mascara to see if it was good or not? I'm telling you, these companies think a lot more into this shit than we realize. I promise you. I promise you they do. I think that this was all a publicity stunt. I really do. 100%. And I mean, don't even get me started on how annoying it is every time she tries a new product. And it's like, oh my God, it's great. Like, Jesus, girl. Like, are you fucking okay? Like, come on. Get with it. It's just, it's not for me, guys. It's not. LYS No Limits bronzing stick in the shade Harmony. I love this stuff. It melts like butter. Why is there a fucking cat hair on my chin? Go away. Anyways, that's as much as I want to talk about her. Like I said, if you want to know more of my thoughts on her, watch my live from yesterday, because we went a little bit deeper into it yesterday. And for people who watched yesterday and are back today, I don't want them to have to hear the same shit over and over. Also, another thing that we haven't got to talk about since I've been gone is Gabby Hanna. So, after her situation, I'm going to say, that she had on TikTok a couple of years ago, for those of you guys who do not know, a lot of people, I'm not going to suspect what was going on. I'm just going to say a lot of other people speculated that it was some type of manic episode, where she let a man into her home, found out he was posting her on TikTok, like all of this shit, and, he was acting like he didn't know her. Number one, let's talk about how weird that guy is. People are like, oh, he's so great, he was trying to help. That's weird. Like, don't do that. Like, call, and say that there's someone online that's acting like they're having a mental episode, but don't go to their home and kind of like lie and manipulate the situation, act like you don't know her, and like, I don't know. It was just very weird. But after all of that, by the way, this is a Laura Lee Los Angeles brush. I love this for contour. It's the L12. I also mentioned this in yesterday's live. She is closing Laura Lee Los Angeles, so all of her stuff is like 75 to 80% off. So I talk about these brushes every time I do my makeup because I use pretty much all of them every single day. So if you want a really bomb brush set, now's the time to go get Laura's because they are fabulous and they are marked down tremendously right now. Anyways, so little update on Gabby Hanna and my opinions and thoughts. You guys know I did an in-depth video of my thoughts on her back when everything was going on with her and Trisha Paytas and Jessie Smiles and all of them. But she ended up, as most of you probably know, going back to Pennsylvania. She worked at the YMCA for a while and was doing like exercises, and she finally came back to YouTube. And I gotta say, you guys, she looks like she's doing really, really well. She looks really good. She did say in her YouTube video that, you know, she came back to the Lord and is like, you know, super into her religious beliefs now, and, you know, so glad to getting out of LA. And I agree with that. I feel like Los Angeles was not meant for Gabby Hanna at all. I feel like that was where a lot of her issues were in general, was just her being in LA. So I'm really happy for her. She seems to be doing really, really well. And I watched Trisha's podcast that she had with Joey Graceffa, and both of them were saying, you know, that she looks really, really good, and they're both happy for her, and everything is basically water under the bridge, and they're just glad that she is happy and safe and doing okay, which I think is very grown of not only Joey but also Trish, because we all know the series that Gabby put out on her YouTube channel a few years ago, and all of the chaos that that started. So it makes me really happy that everybody's, you know, growing up. And like I said earlier, when it comes to all this Flora Shores drama, all of that comes with age and time, with growth. You know, the more you grow and the older that you get, the more you realize shit that actually matters and shit that really fucking don't. And that's just the way that it is. Okay, e.l.f. Putty Primer. This is in the shade Caribbean. And I'm going to use this Marc Jacobs brush that I always use for my blush. This shade is really pretty. I'm still trying to decide if I love it or not. And I think I love it, you guys. I do. I think I love this blush. I will say this, it's not putty. So if you're thinking that you're going to be getting this blush and it's going to be some like new type of formula that's like putty-like, it's not. It's literally just a cream blush in a pot. And I hate the component. I hate what they have it in. It is the worst, because this is good for eyeliner. This is good for an eyeshadow. But when it comes to blush where you need like a bigger brush to go in it, it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. And I don't want to take my finger and, no, I don't want to do that. So I do think they need to come up with a new component, maybe put it, you know, in a compact. That would be nice. Just something a little bit bigger that can fit a brush into it. Because once this gets low, can you imagine? You're not going to be able to get the product out. And I get where they're going with it, because this is like the most generic, most uncustomized packaging of all time. These probably cost all of 2 cents, the component itself. So they're making a huge profit off of this, just so you guys know. And I said this yesterday, but these have been out forever. And they used to be, they weren't called putty blushes. They were just their blush. But they used to be $2. They're now like $8. So they're making a huge profit, which I said this yesterday, I cannot stand when brands do that shit. When they get some hype and they then decide to jack up the prices because people now love their brand and are obsessed with their brand. I don't know what that means, Julia. All right, for concealer, I am first going to go in with the Lancome. This is the Teinte Idol Ultra Wear All Over Concealer in the shade 090. Love the doe foot applicator on this. Bye, Julia. Okay, and then over top, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer, and this is in the shade Royal Icing, and I am even more in love with this doe foot. It's just a really good shape to it that I really, really, really love. Because I love to use a lot of concealer. And this one's more for brightening. And also, as a makeup artist, we are going to be trying, got a hair. We're also going to be working with some, my pigmentation underneath my eyes. So the mixture of these is going to be beautiful. You guys will see in a moment. I'm now going to go in with some e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I'm still not sure if I love or hate this, so no opinion on it so far. But if you do want to know of a really great setting spray, this one. This is the LA Girl Setting Spray, the Fix and Set. You can get this at Ulta, and it literally smells like MAC Fix Plus, acts like MAC Fix Plus. It's amazing. Love, 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 love. And it's usually between $5 and $8. Where am I going? Well, I have several places to go today. Today is, of course, the Super Bowl, as most of you know. But today, aside from the Super Bowl, we are going by my grandmother's house again. Just to check on the outlet that is not working in her house. And then we are going to my mama's. And don't know that we're going to stay and watch the Super Bowl there. We'll probably come home to watch the Super Bowl. John honestly probably won't even watch it. I just want to watch the halftime show, if I'm being honest. Yeah, today's the Super Bowl. Hey, Aaron. Yes, I do have pets. I have cats and dogs. You may be hearing Mama Cat in the background as we speak, honestly. She is very vocal. But yes, I do have pets, and I love them very much. All right, just going back in with my contour and blush brush. Again, I do this just to get like that more airbrushed look before we set anything. Oh, I feel hair in my eye. There we go, got it. going to go in with that blush brush. I'm sorry, Julia. I'm not sure what that comment means. I'm sorry. Hi, Mommy Cat. Yeah? Yeah? For sure, baby. Hi, bugs. Hi, buggies. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I told you, trust the process. Trust the process. There are no sponsorships over here, so everything that I tell you guys is facts. We ain't got no money swaying shit over here. Whatever I recommend, take it or leave it. Just know if I recommend it, it's the real deal. Okay, I am gonna go in. I'm from Tennessee, East Tennessee to be exact. Back in with that shimmer from the Candy Shop palette. Oh, it's such a good shade. Ooh, I love her. All right. Just going to go back in and make sure we have all of this nice and flat. I'm from Mexico City. Well, welcome, Julia. We're glad to have you here today. Very glad. All right, moving on to the next topic. Let's talk about Tana Mojo in her clean girl era. Did we ever think we would see the day? Because y'all, I'm shook. I didn't think we was ever going to see the day of Miss Tana Marie Mojo in this really cute relationship with this really great guy. He has no facial tattoos. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I was literally, my ex-husband has a face tattoo. But, like, he's not on drugs. He's not, like, cussing her out and cheating on her. Like, he's just this really great guy. Like, she doesn't drink anymore. Like, okay, Julia, adios. Thank you for being here. Goodbye. Like, did anyone else think that we would ever see this day of Tana Mojo? Because I'm here to say, I did not. I, for one, am shook. All right, Huda Beauty setting powder in the shade Pound Cake. I need my powder poof. Shoot a poot. I'm going to have to go to my purse real quick, you guys. I'll be right back. Oh! All right, you guys, I'm back. Sorry, I had to go get my powder poof and my pressed powder. Well, I didn't want to yell at you because I'm on live, so I didn't want to scream in their face. No, I said I didn't want to yell for you. Okay. This is the Beauty Blender Powder Poof for anyone who might be wondering or curious. And I absolutely love it. And I love this powder. Are you kidding me? It's literally a filter. Quite literally a filter. And obviously there's no filter on me right now. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, neither of those platforms allow filters during lives anymore, which YouTube never has, but Facebook took them away, which I'm grateful for, because those of you guys who keep up with my lives on Facebook know that there was this filter stuck on my lives for years. No matter how many times I turned it off, it would just come right back. It was so annoying. So I'm oh so grateful that they're no longer an option, because now I don't have to worry about a filter being stuck, because when you do makeup, you really don't want to use filters. Okay. Boom. We are nice and set. Put this powder back. So I don't want to waste none of this shit, especially because of how much they charge for it. By the way, this is the Huda Beauty setting powder, and there's a hair now on my nose. Jesus. Okay. Now I'm just going to take some of the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I use this, golly, I use this to set my neck. And again, Laura Mercier is a really good translucent setting powder as well. But Huda is definitely, gives you more of a filter for sure. So if you're like me and you want more of that filtered effect, Huda Beauty is the way to go. However, Laura Mercier is absolutely stunning as well. Okay. The only one that I've tried here lately setting powder wise that I don't love is this one right here. This is the Kimchi Puff Puff Pass. I don't like it. It looks really patchy and underneath the eyes. And it's just not, it's a no bueno for me. I'm just going to brush my face really quick, you guys, because there is, hello, Mushiki. Do you want to come and say hello to everyone? Come here, Mushiki. Come here. Come here, my love. You just want to stare at me with your beautiful green eyes. Come here, Beanawina. Let me turn my heater off. Oh, ouch. Oh, I'm getting stuck in my arse. Come here, Beanie Weenie. Hi, Mushiki cat. See some Mushiki cat. I want to show everybody how big you've gotten. Say hello, everyone. Hope you want to climb. Okay, goodbye. That's all y'all get. That's it, she says. She says hi, and then she says bye. Oh my goodness. Anyways, back to the Tana Mojo thing. I am so happy for her. Could not be more happy for her. And also, do I want to talk about this? I'm going to go in with our Charlotte Tilbury bronzer dupe. This is the Essence Sun Club Luminous Bronzer in the shade Sun-Kissed in California. You know what? Yeah, we're going to talk about it. So, Alex Earle. What are our thoughts on Alex Earle? Because here, well, before we get into Alex Earle, I guess we need to start with Alex Cooper. So if you don't know who she is, which it's hard for me to imagine someone who doesn't know who Alex Cooper, founding father, call her daddy, podcast host, who just made literally $100 million. It's absolutely fucking insane how rich this bitch is from this podcast. She made, like, I think 50 million from one network, and now she's with another one and is making 100 million. Like, she's good. Like, she's got money, honey. But let's start with her. And she had Spencer Pratt on her podcast, and he gets up and walks out. And a lot of people are talking about that because of the fires and things like that. And I guess she made it drama. People are saying it's a publicity stunt and all this, that, and the third. I really and truly do not think this is a publicity stunt, you guys. I think that this is like a genuine thing that happened. But and the reason I say that is because Alex doesn't need that to do that, is why I say that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't happen. And this is where I want to kind of throw a bone out there and kind of give you guys a light into why she may agree to do this, is because it's going to get clicks. And of course, she pays people who come on her podcast. And if it gets clicks, it's going to bring more attention to Heidi and Spencer. And it might have been an agreed upon situation, just to get more traction over to Heidi and Spencer. Alex's listeners aren't going to go anywhere. It's quite clear. So that's just my personal opinion of what I think happened. I think that that was Alex's way of helping. And, you know, to kind of feed into that is the reason why she didn't use Heidi's song. And, you know, that's just my thoughts and opinions on it. Take it for what you will. I do also want to go in with a little bit of this other bronzer that I have. If I can find, here it is. I'm just going to use a little bit of this Juvia's Place bronzer. I'm going to use this top one here. I just want to use just a little bit of it. It just adds a little bit more of a glow, and I really like the way that it looks on top of this Essence bronzer. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that just to shape the face just a wee bit more. But Alex Cooper also is the owner of the Unwell Network, and she signed Alex Earl on to the Unwell Network, I believe close to a year ago now. And she has her podcast, Hot Mess. And I just have to say, this girl parties her little ass off. And I remember being that age and partying my ass off. And listen, I totally get it. Do your thing. But I just want to know if is she okay? Because this girl is going 100 miles a minute. She is really famous right now. And I know a lot of people disagree when I say famous, but baby, they're famous. They have paparazzi following them around. They have millions and millions of followers. They have the same amount, if not more followers than some of your favorite movie stars. They're famous, okay? And I just want to make sure she's okay because she blew up really, really fast. She has a huge platform. She is also dating a NFL player. I think he's currently injured, Braxton Berrios. So she's doing really, really great things, and I'm really curious to see where she goes. I'm hoping that she doesn't go off the deep end or anything like that. She has had a couple of cancellation-ish moments. I do not think she handled them right. A lot of people agree with that. She should have definitely came on and, you know, apologized and taken accountability a lot faster than she did. However, we do need to take her age into consideration. We also do need to take into consideration that she has not been famous her entire life. This is something new for her. And so we need to, while we are wanting these influencers to take accountability for their actions, we also need to remember to give grace where grace is due. Some of these people are in their early 20s. Some of these people have only been really famous for a year or even less. And they are learning how to navigate having millions and millions and millions of people opinion on them at all times. And I think that's why a lot of creators are so open to cutting their comments off. I think once you reach a certain following, you know, you're still going to make money regardless. So a lot of creators are talking about, and I actually heard this on a podcast, a lot of bigger creators are considering turning comments off completely on all their platforms. And I don't think that that's a great idea. And the reason for that is that then cuts off your relationship with your audience. When you have comments, yes, there are going to be piss poor comments. There are going to be people who are rude, hateful, ugly to you in the comments. However, how will we ever really truly connect with our audience if we shut them off completely and we're never able to speak to them? So I hope that these creators don't turn off their comments. I don't think it's a good idea at all. I mean, at least if your audience means anything to you and what they feel and think mean anything to you, because I think it would hurt them a great deal to not be able to communicate with you aside from like a DM, which I'm sure you guys know their DMs are flooded. They're not going to be, I mean, my following is nothing compared to these people, and I could never get to all of my Instagram messages. I mean, I would have to sit down and really try. And that just goes to show how many messages they get on a daily. I don't get messages on a daily basis, but that just goes to show you how many messages they most likely get. And you guys know my opinions with cancel culture. I think it's a load of bullshit. You know, we all have skeletons in our closet. We all have made a wrong choice. We all have done wrong. And I just think that it's really weird to call someone else out on something that is that just because they're in the public eye. And so my question is, like, where do you get off? Like, what does that do for you? For you to leave a comment, a hate comment on someone's page, or for you to say something nasty, or, you know, for you to post a screenshot of a tweet from 9 years ago. Like, if that person that you are calling out doesn't seem to be the same person, because I'm going to tell you now, the person I was 9 years ago was a drug addict and a manipulator and a liar and a fucking crazy person, okay? To compare me now to who I was 9 years ago is insane. And if we continue to do stuff like this, guys, we're going to continue to lose really, really great creators like we did Jenna Marbles. Like, cancel culture is not for everyone, and it does put a toll on people like it did Jenna. And, you know, I just think people need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, have I been completely perfect my entire life? And do I have the right to call this person out or to say this nasty thing to this person? And I know a lot of people say, well, hurt people hurt people. Well, yeah, that is true. But how long are we going to continue to say that? Because at the end of the day, and what I used to do is I would take screenshots of, and I love that some creators are doing this, going to their page, let's take some screenshots of your shit if you want to say something about me. Like, I'm totally into that. Like, what's good for the goose? So anyways, when it comes to cancel culture, it's a bunch of bullshit. Unless someone is hurting someone, I do not see the point in calling someone out over every little fucking thing, especially if you're calling them out for something that happened more than, I'm going to say, 2 years ago. And that's not even to say someone can change in a year, someone can change in 6 months. Something that someone thought, you know, I've had thoughts that I, you know, thought one thing, and then 3 months later, my opinions completely changed and swifted. So, even, yeah, I don't know. Not for me, babes. No hate comments for me. I do not fuck with it at all. All right, let's move on to blush. I am actually going to use a different one than I used yesterday. Yesterday, I used this new NYX Buttermelt blush. I love it. It is so beautiful, but it's not really the shade that I'm going for today. It's too kind of matchy-matchy with my eyeshadow, and I don't really want, that's not really the vibe that I'm wanting today. I'm kind of wanting more of like a princessy pink, like Barbie pink. And I think I'm going to go into the Laura Lee Los Angeles X Lunar Beauty Palette and use the shade Pink Blossom, which is right here. I do like the blushes in this palette. I do not love the highlights. They're just not, they're not my vibe. They're both just too goldeny toned. That one kind of looks orange on me. I don't know. Don't love the highlights, but love the blushes. And again, Laura Lee Los Angeles is closing down, so all of her stuff is marked down so much. So if you want to try anything, now is the time to try. And again, out of everything, I recommend her brush set. Her brush set is great. Speaking of which, I am using a Laura Lee Los Angeles brush, L14, for my blush. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, that's pretty. I love that. Love, love, love that. I am still more of the darker blush girlies. I love those shades of blushes, but the pink is cute and it's different because I never use baby doll pink. But love this palette, and again, it's probably marked down. Well, I know it's marked down like 75 to 80% off, so if you want to try it, now's the time. All right, let's do this lower lash line, and then we'll do my pressed powder and move on with the rest of the stuff. Okay. I'll go ahead and spray my face really quickly. Alrighty, Roo. I wish we could listen to music on YouTube Live. Like, that is just something that YouTube needs to get going, because even Facebook now, I was able to listen to music on my Facebook Live the other day. So everybody's getting with the program except for YouTube. Like, can we please, YouTube, please, please. You know what else is? I need my freaking lip gloss out of my purse, and I didn't grab that. And I don't think I can I mute you guys? All right, I hope you guys were muted while I yelled for him. Oh, no. I have nowhere to put it. Just let me grab my lip gloss and then put it on the doorknob there.
Well, I didn't say I was going to make you go through it.
By the way, this gloss is so beautiful. I'm so glad I got it. I was watching, what's her name, which we're going to talk about them next. That's actually a good segue. Kylan and Izzy Darnell. Let's talk about them. But Kylan wore this, and her lips just shined like I've never seen. And it's the Pillow Talk Big Lip Plumpgasm in the shade, obviously, Pillow Talk. Guys, it was so beautiful, and it's gorgeous. It is not affordable by any means. It's literally a $40 lip gloss, but there is a lot in it for it to be $40. It's a huge component, and it has 0.18 fluid ounces. Let's compare that to my other favorite. This is the Nimya lip gloss, and this one has, does it not say? It literally does not say. Okay, so that one's not an option. Let's go in here and find another one. Let's see. This one's not available anymore, but I do still have it. It's the Dragon Beauty. 0.12. And this is 0.18. So There's a little bit more in this one, and you can tell it's such a beautiful component too. Very custom packaging, which also has to go into consideration with the pricing. And as we know, there is nothing drugstore priced about Charlotte Tilbury, and never has been, and they shouldn't be. She is an iconic makeup artist. So, all right, moving right along. I kind of want to smoke out my lower lash line. However, I have not quite yet received my new pencil liner from Urban Decay. I ordered it. It hasn't gotten here yet. So I'm going to use this NARS one. However, I will say it is not my favorite at all. See, and it's so hard to get this one to sharpen. Has anyone else used, look at this shit. This literally just broke. It literally snapped in fucking half, you guys. I cannot make this shit up. It literally snapped in half. Are you joking me? And it doesn't seem to want to sharpen at all. Did that just get it? Guys, my eyes are so piss poor. I don't know. Oh yeah, that got it. Anyways, we're just going to put this on the lower lash line, the waterline, all of it. And feel free to be as messy as you want. It doesn't matter. We are smoking this out to oblivion. Hey! Be nice, love bugs, please. Well, I guess that is the end of this because it snapped. So, now it's a goner. Okay, well, we'll set it there in case I need any more of it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and smudge this out. I'm going to use this Marc Jacobs little smudge brush. I'm just using my little eyeshadow brush cleaner to clean it off a little bit before we get to smudging. We're just going to smudge this out at first. I'm not adding any extra shadow or anything to it quite yet. Literally just smudging this out. And then once I get it good and smudged out, I'm just going to correct any places that I see that need something, like this area right here. And right here. Perfect. Okay, now, guys, please stop arguing, my loves. I'm sorry if you guys hear my cats in the back. They are currently not getting along. They're not seeing eye to eye. Okay, I am going to just set this a little bit with the black in the Jacqueline palette. And the reason I set it is because my eyes water really bad, in particular this one. As spring approaches, it gets even worse. So I'm setting this in hopes that we don't have... Get off of my keyboard. Bell Bell. Come here, Bell Bear. Come here, my Bell Bell kitten. You all are so talkative today. Okay. Hey. Do you all hear them? Holy shit. They are something else today. Okay. I'm now going to go in with that maroon shade that we used. It's one of my favorite shades in the palette, as you can see. It's called Crazy. And I think the black shade is called Temptress, but as you can see, it's completely covered. I need to clean this palette up, but what in the shit was that? Guys. Mama cat, what was that? Okay, and then just to touch it up just a little bit, I want to go in with my original transition shade, and I mix these top three in the middle here. It's Love Handles, Comfort Zone, and Perfectionist. These three right here I mix together as my transition shade. There's just no palette that's ever going to compare for me. This palette is just the palette, in my opinion. It's perfect. I love it. And I need to purchase another one. I need to see if I can find one, because I cannot, there can never be a time where I can't use that palette or have access to that palette. It just has to be a thing. Also, I really want to do liquid liner, but my lashes have not yet arrived. And so the only lashes, yeah, this is empty. Are these literally the only lashes that I have? Yeah, they are. I do believe. Dag nabbit. I do have these little individual lashes, but these are the only ones I have, and they are thinny minis. So I think what I'm going to do, let's just start with this. Maybe we'll just do that. Yeah, I think that looks good. Ow. Do I love that? Or is it bothering me that there's not a wing? We'll do that. That's better. That's what we needed. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So we'll do that. Okay. Now we need some mascara. And if I'm being real, the one that I want to use is also on its way with my Urban Decay pencil liner. So we're just going to have to use this one today, which is fine. This is the e.l.f. Big Mood Mascara. It's not one of my favorites because I cannot stand the brush mainly. These ones that are like hourglass shaped, I can't get behind them. I don't understand the reasoning for it. Also, I completely missed a whole portion of my liner. Oh my goodness gracious, Morgan. What in the world, girl? Okay. There we go. Anyways, I don't like the brush. I don't like when they're hourglass shaped. It doesn't make much sense to me, but so today is the Super Bowl. Couldn't tell you who's playing. Um, Also, I haven't heard a big fuss about the halftime show. I will say my favorite is still like the Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Eminem, taking me back to early 2000s halftime show. That halftime show will just always be a favorite of mine. It's always when my Snapchat memories come up of that night, it was just so good. So amazing. I remember being on FaceTime with a bunch of my friends that I grew up with, and we were just all just so nostalgic over all of the music. It was just so good. So good. Okay, that's as good as mascara's getting, you guys. I mean, it's not a great mascara. I don't know what else to say. And again, every time that I talk about mascara, I have to make another plea to Lancome. Can you please bring back the best mascara of all time? I literally keep this bottle as literally only for special occasions because this is the last one that I have. This is, for those of you guys who do not know, this is the Lancome Grandiose Mascara. One of my most favorite mascaras of all time. I love the wand. Let's just do a couple of brushes. Oh my gosh, I love the wand. I love this mascara so much. It's so good. Lancome, please, please, please bring my baby back. Please. Why did you get rid of the best mascara? It's so good. Never bleeds. So good. I always have to say that when I get to that portion because they need to bring it back. Okay, we're now going to do pressed powder. This is the LYS. What's this called? Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder in the shade Resilience Translucent. And I love, love, love this powder. It's so brightening. It's so beautiful. Look at that. Yeah. That's what we want. Okay, and then this will go in my purse because I will use this to touch up when I need to. Let's go ahead and do these lashes really quickly while we're here. Using my Duo Lash Glue. Okay. Then go ahead and spray my face while I wait for that lash glue to dry. That way that powder can go ahead. And I think since we're going by my mom's today, might go through Jefferson City so I can go to Ulta because I need to get some more of my setting spray and I need to get some lashes for the meantime because these are just not going to cut it. I know he tried. John got these for me and he really did try, but they're just not the vibe at all. Like, they're just so thin. And you guys know me, I love like a full-blown lash. But these will just have to do for today because I do not want to glue individual fucking lashes on. No thanks. Plus, these little thin ones are so easy to rip out of the packaging. Alright. There's lashes. They don't look too bad now that I'm looking. And the liner helps because then you can put your lash line a little bit above. Eyeliner helps with that a lot. And this inner corner is not where it's supposed to be. Can you go down, please? Let's see if we can squish her down to where we want her. There we go. Much better. All right, highlight, highlight, highlight. And I also need to gel down my brows as well. We need to do lips. So let me spray my face one more time. Let me actually get a powder brush really quick just to get off anything weird. Okay. Spray my face. Okay. Why does it look like that over here? I don't love that. There's something about that setting spray that I just don't like. Okay. Let's do an inner corner highlight. I think we're going to switch it up today, honestly. And I'm going to go into this palette. This is the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless. I'm going to use this shade in here called Pearl. You guys can see that I love these two shades a lot. And you can't find this palette anymore, but you guys know me. And you know I have a backup, baby. I sure do. Okay. So we're going to go in with Pearl for inner corner. She is very bright and beautiful, as you can see. I love this shade. It's so beautiful. Okay, and anytime that I highlight my brow bone, I always go back in with my transition shade brush and just hit it, just because I don't ever want there to be like a sharp, harsh line there. And then for highlight, if you know me, you should know what we're using. We're using MAC Soft and Gentle. This is an oldie but a goodie. It is the best still. And as you can see, I'm actually about to hit pan on this one. I think this one lasted me probably close to 3 years, honestly. Maybe not quite that long, but it still is so beautiful. Oh, God. I just love this highlight. There's just not one that has ever compared for me like MAC Soft and Gentle. It's just so beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Okay. Now let's spray our face again, but this time I'm going to use my favorite setting spray. And basically drench your entire face. Drench it, soak it. And I'm actually glad he brought my purse because my fan's in it. This absolute waste of money. Stupidest purchase I ever made. This is the Patrick Ta fan that was $40, and I want you guys to just take a look at how shitty. So there's absolutely nothing special about this fan. It is actually, I bought this for a video to just prove it's the same shit that's at the dollar store. We just say, oh, well, it says Patrick Ta on it. It says Patrick Ta, so we need to have it. No, you don't. Look at this shit. Are you absolutely fucking kidding me? Look at this shit. I have one in my Bible case that is from the Dollar Tree that I've had for probably God only knows how long, and it is in perfect condition. Meanwhile, I have this $40 one that literally looks like shit. And the reason why this is in my makeup and in my purse for my makeup is because I would be too embarrassed to fucking pull this out in church. Literally $40. This was $40. And when Patrick Ta first released, I did a Patrick Ta video. Y'all can go back and watch that. Where I tried his blush and I bought the fan, and I think there was something else that he launched at first too. I can't remember. And everybody was going gaga over this. And I'm like, can I see all of your alls now? Because mine looks like it's been ran over. It's been just completely demolished. I mean, does it still work? Yes. But does it also look like shit? Also, yes. However, you can still see that it says Patrick Ta and it has the little TP emblem on it. And yeah, it's still rose gold, I guess, but any fucking way. But the whole point of that video was to be like, there's literally no difference. You can buy it at the dollar store and it's going to do the same thing that these fans, that these influencers come out with that are $40. $40. 40 doll hairs, you guys. It's not satin or silk. It's literally, quite literally, the exact same material as a dollar store fan. I promise you. I promise you. Ugh. Erin, your comment is getting me back on a roll on it. Ugh. Diabolical. Immediate jail. Immediately. Immediate jail. Immediate life sentence. Absolutely not. Okay, Anastasia, you can't even see this. I hate this packaging. I wish they would change it. It's the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I do love it. Wish they would change the component. I've said this 100 times. And every time I say it, people are like, well, she does have the one in the tube. Yeah, she does. It's not the same. This one's different. Okay, I have purchased both. This one is different and it's way, way better. I just wish it was a little different because it's really hard to scoop out the product. And with your spoolie, like the size of a spoolie doesn't really fit very well in it. So I do wish that she would change the component in some way. And I feel like if anyone can do that, it's Anastasia. When it comes to brow products, there's no one else. Sorry, Benefit, but not sorry. Anastasia Beverly Hills is the best when it comes to brows, and I will die on that hill. It is what they're known for, and also really good highlights. Did you all see that basically the Ambreezy iconic highlight has basically come back out? Anastasia basically come back out with it in a different component. It's now in a white circular compact, but I saw that Laura Lee compared them and it's exactly the same. So I do need to order that. I need to order that. I need to put that on my list. That's something I need to do. I'm going to see. Ooh, I can see if they have it at Ulta today. That's what I'll do. I'll see if they have it at Ulta. And if they do, we'll see if it's worth the money, because I'm sure it's going to be close to $40 fucking. So we'll see together if it's worth your coin or not. Okay, moving on. What do we need to do now, guys? Lips? Yeah, lips. Okay. Do I want beauty marks today? That is the next question of the hour. Also, I want to touch up my roots. So I'm going to use this expensive ass brush that I bought for a YouTube video years ago. Hey, no, 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 Mama Cat. Mama Cat. No, honey, darling. These stupid brushes that I bought ages ago. Are they good brushes? Yes, but they cost a fortune. Anyways, and I'm going to go into that shade Temptress in the Jacqueline palette, and I'm just going to go and touch up my hairline here a little bit and my roots. As you can see there, the gray is coming in, but I don't want to dye my hair yet. For those of you guys who don't follow me on other platforms, I bleached my hair this past summer and it was a horrible decision. Do not make decisions like that when you are depressed, but I did, and I just don't want to put anything on my hair right now. So we're doing this, and I prefer this method over the spray, root spray, I just like this better. It's my thing. So this is what I do. And see how much better that looks? And I really like these Artis brushes because I have a bunch of different sizes and you can really get in those like precise areas. And I love it. Okay, perf. Because hair is done. This is what we're doing with hair today. Period. Okay, what do I want to do for lip liner today is the next question. I think, let's see, I definitely don't want to do red, so that's not what I meant to pick up. Let's see here. What's this one? No, I think it's too pinky for what I'm going for today. I'm going to use one of my oldie but goodie favorites. This is actually $1. You can get this at your dollar store. It's the LA Colors. So LA Colors is different from LA Girl. So LA Girl is in Ulta. LA Colors is in your dollar store. But this is their lip contour. And it is in the shade Naked. And you guys, I absolutely love it. So I just go in with a little bit of the thin side first, just to kind of map out what I want. But the side that I love is the thick side. And it's so creamy. And, oh no! Oh no! Well, I'll just have to... That's no big deal to get another one of those because they're literally $1. So I can pick up one of those today. I know I got that one at the Family Dollar, so... but I'm sure the Dollar General store has it. But we're going to do that. And then for lipstick, I want a really good nude lipstick. So I think we're going to go in with Huda Beauty Bombshell. This is a really pretty nude. And this is a liquid lipstick, by the way, that I have repurchased a few times. This is one of the shades that I really, really love. The main liquid lipsticks that I repurchase, because I still prefer liquid lipstick, is this one here, Huda Beauty in Bombshell. This one right here, this is Anastasia Beverly Hills Pure Hollywood, which is another thing I need to pick up today. And where is my other one that I repurchase all of the time? This one right here. This is Kylie Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Kylie. I love this one. And then last but certainly not least, it's in here. This one. This is ColourPop, and it is in the shade Times Square. These are like my go-to shades right here, depending on like what I want. I am going to put a little bit of Pure Hollywood right in the center. Oh, that's so pretty, but yeah, I do need a new one. I wore this one yesterday and I realized I need a new Pure Hollywood for sure. Okay. And now that those are dried down, I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. And look at this doe foot applicator. It's perfect. Look at this. It like hugs the lip. So perfect. Look how glossy that is. And it stays that way. I love, 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 love. So this will go in my purse with me today, as will my Beauty Blender Powder Poof and my LYS pressed powder. Again, my eyes water, so I will use that on and off. Then I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I'm going to use this e.l.f. one because it's supposed to be power grip. So set it, and we are done, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and getting ready with me today and talking about different topics. If there's any topic that you want me to talk about in tomorrow morning's live, be sure to put it in the comment section down below so that I know. I read your all's comments every single day, so please, 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 if you watch this live later and whatever the case, please put in the comments what topics you want me to talk about. Even if you watch this live in a week, still leave your comments because I will still see them, and we will still talk about what you want to talk about as long as it is appropriate. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys have a beautiful Sunday, and until the very next time, bye.